Hey everyone, welcome to another YouTube video. Today, I want to go over how you guys can deliver a really solid coaching program. We've been working with all kinds of coaches here in my business, doctors turned health coaches, therapists turned life coaches, online service providers as well. And your program is the most important part of your entire business. And we think that most people know that, right? But sometimes when we get into this online business world, we understand that we need to solve a problem and we need to help other people, but sometimes marketing takes the place of developing a really good program or reinvesting in that program and thinking about that program. And with AI coming into the picture as well, we really need to pay attention to our coaching programs and how we can make them better, how we can serve people better, as well as how do we market this thing and get more people into our programs, knowing that there's more competition than ever before. So in this short training, we're going to go over how to deliver a solid coaching program, what makes a group offer work, including the delivery, the marketing behind it, how to make this thing scalable, how to pre-sell the offer before you even build it, and the key elements of coaching delivery. Let's get into it. Okay, the first thing that I want to say here is you don't need to stuff your programs full of content. In fact, that's probably the number one mistake that so many people are making right now. You don't want to give clients homework. You don't want to overwhelm them with stuff. Stuffing your programs with videos and modules and things is not the answer. Delivering results and putting that into a clear container. That's what's going to make your program amazing, especially if you're selling high ticket. People don't want to pay so that they can show up and do a ton of work. They want results faster, and we're going to get into that today. So coaches often overbuild when they're launching a group program for the first time. And I'll be honest, I see some clients of mine doing this like 5 years later, 10 years later. They're still stuffing their programs full of unnecessary things. Your clients need structure, focus, momentum. They need a clear container, and they need results. And they need that in the easiest, most supportive way possible. So what actually makes a group offer work? I want you to forget the idea that you need a Kajabi portal, a million videos recorded, you need the weekly coaching and bonus coaches and support channels, and you definitely don't need to clone what somebody else is doing. So we're going to go over what you actually need here, starting with a clear promise. What specific transformation does this offer help your client create? So for example, I help online coaches turn their one-to-one method into a premium group program without losing results or alignment. So you guys have heard this like kind of classic slogan before. My group helps this specific kind of person go from a certain kind of state, a bad state, to this very clear outcome in X amount of weeks. This is the ideal promise, the ideal statement for a program like this. So example, I help nutrition coaches go from custom meal plans to 5K plus group programs in 8 weeks. Do you hear how clear that is? There are some huge common mistakes that I see in the coaching industry all the time. Coaches, you are the worst for using vague language. You're selling programs about changing your mindset, helping you be more empowered, shedding your limiting beliefs, living your best self ever, getting healthier, getting wealthier. All those things are super vague. And vague, it doesn't sell. You also might be selling then some generic results. Feel better, get in better shape, make more money. It's generic. It's not specific. You might be selling results that your ideal client actually doesn't even care about. I love to use the birthday cake test. Essentially, is your ideal client about to blow out the candles on their birthday cake and wishing for this specific thing? Or do you just think it's a good idea? And I'm going to get into that later. Are they actually asking for this? I can guarantee you that no one is blowing out the candles on their birthday cake saying, I wish I could live my most empowered life yet. Nobody is thinking that. Empowerment might be a quality of your program, a side effect of your program, but we got to get specific around what people are actually thinking and actually desiring. You might have too short or too long of a timeline. So if you're a weight loss coach, for example, you probably don't want to do a 4-week program because you're not going to be able to help anyone actually sustainably lose weight in 4 weeks. Or if it's too long, if you say that this is a 12-month program, a 2-year program, if they think it's going to take forever to get results, that is also really challenging to sell and keep people engaged for the long haul. This is very offer specific, but it's something that we want to think about. There might not be a clear timeline. So I love in the example here, we're talking about X amount of weeks. And also your ideal client might be vague, helping women, helping entrepreneurs. It might be vague, or it might be the wrong ideal client. I have a whole other training on this. The wrong ideal client is someone that's actually not willing to do the work, someone that can't afford to pay you, and someone that's actually just not going to get the best results from your program. This is a whole conversation in and of itself, but that's just something I wanted to highlight. So number 2, we need a really defined delivery format. And it's always going to come back to how does your ideal client receive information best? You want to keep it simple and you want to make sure it's effective. You don't want to overcommit your time, and you also don't want to, again, stuff so many things into your program that the person can't keep up with you. So some really common group formats are like it could be a certain amount of weeks. There might be one weekly call. There might be a supportive chat on the side of this. And there's probably some onboarding or kickoff calls so that people are familiarized with the program, with all your assets, everything that you are putting into this program. So my ideal structure is this amount of weeks with this amount of calls per week, and there's this kind of support in between. I want you to start off with what is your capacity? How can you show up and deliver? But always keep your ideal client in mind. For example, if you have a program for really busy moms of twins, don't have daily calls or 3 calls a week. Like, she's not going to be able to do that, right? So you got to keep yourself in mind so that you can sustainably do this thing for the long haul, but you also have to keep your client in mind. Some other things that you might need to consider: what platforms or tech does your ideal client already use? Or are they capable of using this? So you might think Notion is the latest and greatest tool and you might be obsessed with it, but is your ideal client going to have trouble navigating that? Right? Or maybe you want to use High Level, or maybe you want to use Discord. It really doesn't matter what platform. Does this serve your ideal client? Is this extra noise? Is it something they're already using? Is it something that's going to be easy for them? Again, totally ideal client dependent. As far as length, what length of time do they need to be successful? Right? So if you are a weight loss coach, in general, how much time do they actually need with you in order to get results? We kind of touched on that already. In terms of how you show up and the things that you put into your program, what are the essential amount of calls and homework required in order to get them results? And then what's just like extra? What's noise? What's a nice to have? You basically want to put the 20% of needle movers into your program and just really focus on those things and ditch the 80% fluff. Because people are busy. So don't stuff your program full of calls if that's not actually what they can even commit to. You also want to think about scalability, because ideally you are focusing on one really good program and you're doing that for the long haul. This does not mean you are available 24/7 on Voxer. Maybe you're only available once a month, once a week. You can decide in advance. And what kind of support do they need? Your ideal clients also don't need daily Q&As. They don't need daily support. You can put boundaries up for certain office hours. If you are using something like Voxer or WhatsApp in order to do some back and forth with your client, you can have hours for that as well. It can be daily. It can be once a week. You get to decide. I highly recommend having a wins channel or somewhere where people are not just asking questions, somewhere where they are celebrating, because it's going to build hype in the group. They're going to feel encouraged. And also, this is how you're going to get all of your testimonials. So I want you to think about what kind of support they need? What kind of support are you able to offer? And I want you to think about boundaries when you're creating your program. In terms of scaling, a lot of coaches, and I just wanted to highlight this here, a lot of coaches are trying to scale what they shouldn't be scaling, meaning, are we focusing on bringing more people in and removing ourselves from the process when what we actually need to do is be more hands-on and be serving people well so that we can get those incredible testimonials, and then we can scale and then we can grow. Scaling is amazing. Automating is amazing. But if you're under 20K months, you should probably be more hands-on and serving more and showing up more and doing whatever it takes to get client results. So you can actually pre-sell your offer before you build it. I'm going to say pre-sell, but also test your offer. You can build the outline, sell the promise, and deliver the curriculum live the first time. So you can not only repurpose your program as a live event, which is amazing. Live is really, really important right now, especially with AI and fake accounts and low trust and all the things. But before you go and do that, let's spend some more time validating the actual interest in this program, tailoring it to what people actually want so that you don't waste your time and energy on things that no one actually needs or wants. Guys, I am so guilty. I've done this so many times, creating something that I think is a really, really good idea. And I spent a ton of time doing it. And then I realize, oh, it's not what people actually wanted, or it's not what they actually needed. So do your due diligence ahead of time so that you're actually testing. You're testing and seeing, do people actually want this? Is this actually what they want? So you can pre-sell your offer in a few different ways. I highly recommend testing the topic with your content. Make some content around this and see what the engagement is like. Do some polls and question boxes in your Instagram story and flat out ask people, I'm thinking of doing this thing. Who's interested? You can also do this via your email list. Start gauging interest before you build the thing. And if this is a high ticket thing, then test it with content. Test it with a freebie, a little mini version of it, test it with a low ticket offer, and then turn it into a bigger, more robust program. So the key elements of a really good coaching program, most important thing, define the transformation. You got to be really, really specific with the outcome, the timeline, the client, the problem that you're solving. So you have an A to B transformation, but then there's also a roadmap. There should be steps along the way. You have to think about your program structure. So again, that roadmap. Step 1, they have to change their mindset. Step 2, they have to do an audit on where they're at now. Step 3, they have to set themselves up for success, and so on, with each step building upon the next. Communication. How are you going to answer questions and give feedback? Messages, one-to-one calls, community calls, Voxer, Discord, Facebook support group, and what's the best way to communicate and how can you minimize those channels? Don't give them a whole bunch of apps. You want to think about your course content, of course. So gone are the days when you can just ride on an info business alone. I think live support is going to be so important as we step into this next era of AI. So the courses, again, do not put too much into the course. Do not give people like 2-hour videos to watch. How can you do 10-minute trainings, 20-minute trainings? How can you teach on the 20%? And again, get the fluff out of there. What is the essential course content that your clients need? What are the repetitive conversations that you're having with everyone that you can just pre-record and make this a DIY module? But again, don't put extras in, only the essentials. Then we want to think about supportive resources. What resources can you add? And I'll add what they actually need to then take that information and apply what you just taught so that they can get an immediate win. The delivery checklist. What are the tasks, actions, exercises that you need to complete in order to produce the result or transformation? So, if you're a health coach, I'm in a health program right now. We have a daily habit tracker. I have to track my food. I have to track my exercises. I have to check in with my weight and photos. These are like the key elements that I have to do for my coach every single week. And then she is responsible for looking over my food diary, looking at my weight, changing my workouts, and those are her checklist items to make sure that together we move forward and get results. The rules of operation. What are the rules that clients must follow? Guys, do this on day one. Set your boundaries. Let them know when you're available, when you're not available. Let them know what they can expect from you, and let them know what you expect of them. It's way better to set the tone at the beginning than it is to have an awkward conversation later. And I wanted to highlight this here. So the big domino of coaching delivery, what can I create right now that will provide the most amount of value in the least amount of time possible? Make your programs essential. I was watching a video the other day and they were saying that the biggest grift right now are people selling overstuffed coaching programs, just stuffed with info where people get lost. No, if you're really an expert, if you really know what you're talking about, you'll be able to develop a program that gets them quick wins without you having to constantly teach and show up all the time. And often us just stuffing our programs full of stuff is us actually overcompensating for the fact that we don't feel confident. So give them what's essential, give them what's supportive that they actually need, but avoid, I can't stress this enough, just stuffing your program. How do you actually do that? Write all of your great ideas down. Rank every idea in 2 categories on a scale of 1 to 10, value and time. So value, is this what they really need? Is this super valuable to them? Is it going to help get them results? And then how much time is this actually going to take them? So I want to create different platforms for the app Switch. The value might be a 5, the time is 10, maybe not so good. I want to create a module on breath work. The value is 7, the time 2. That's where we're hitting the money. You want more value, less time for them and for you. And just some basic principles here, guys, of coaching delivery. Teach what you know. You don't have to be the world's greatest expert on this. You only need to be 10% ahead of someone to be 100% in service to them. But do not teach programs if you don't have those same results yourself. If you haven't seen those results with clients, if you don't have a personal transformation around the result that you're teaching, I see this all the time. Only teach what you already have results in. You will be out of integrity with what you're selling. It will quickly rise up and work against you if you try and get ahead of yourself. There are things that you can teach later in your business. Just teach what you know today. Build what is actually asked for. So again, you might have it in your head that, oh my God, it'd be amazing if we had an app. It would be amazing if we had a Slack channel. It'd be amazing if we had all these like bells and whistles. You can always do that later. You can sell and create a program right now with the essentials of what they need to get results. And that just might be you and your time. Build lean. Don't overcomplicate everything. You don't need to do everything all at once. Just prioritize the most important steps. And then you have a lifetime to chip away at this, because the coaches that are thriving, guys, they don't have a million programs. They have one. They have one program that they just sell on repeat. And every year they're just making it better and better and better. Be minimalistic. Focus on the 20%. So 20% of information that's going to get them results. Minimize your platforms that they're going to use. This is going to help you and them. Constantly improve and iterate your offer. Guys, you're going to pour a ton of effort into your programs. You're probably not going to be done. Expect that. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've created a program and then a year later I'm like, I got to refilm the whole thing. And yeah, that kind of sucks. Or sometimes I throw a program away because I know I can make it better and I rebuild it. That's the game. Okay. Good coaches are always improving, even if it means that, heck, I got to do a lot of work. That's what a real, genuine coach is going to do, continuing to make their program better. Focus on quick wins. Make it so that when someone joins their program, they know exactly what to do to get fast results right now. Not all of their results, just a quick win, right? So in my fitness program, for example, it's a quick win for me to set up my app and know how to track my food. Boom, that's a quick win, right? It's not about the weight loss yet. It's just learning how to do this new key skill or figuring out my macros and meal prepping the first time. Those are quick wins. And make it actionable. Don't just have a course filled with information. You want to give people things to do. It's only information if they're just reading. You want them to be able to take that and apply it and test it and practice it. That's how it becomes wisdom. When you're designing this thing, you want to think about what modules are the most important. Create those ones first. Watch what kind of questions your clients are already asking. Notice what kind of questions people are asking you in the DMs or via email. You can put those into the course. You want to ask yourself, does this actually help people achieve the transformation, or is this just added fluff? Is this the simplest way I can teach this topic? Sometimes we're trying to use fancy words and we're making things harder on ourselves. It's making it harder for them too. Will this module make things more confusing or more clear? Is my program actionable or just educational? Again, education businesses, info businesses are in trouble right now with AI. I'll say that. And is my program clear, start to finish, from point A to point B? And if you already have a program that's rock solid, that you're super proud of, maybe you've recently revamped it, how do you scale? The first stage is you're basically just working with people one-to-one. You're taking them through this process. You're spending a lot of time with them. You're making sure that they get results. They don't need a community. They don't need an online course. They don't need fancy tech. It's just you and your people. Stage 2, now you're working with a group of people. You're starting to get a little more full. Now we can start thinking about a community, maybe a group program, maybe an added course. And the course can address those themes that are coming up again and again. And you can just put that into DIY format. Stage 3, you got more clients coming in, about double the amount. Now we have a more robust course. Maybe we have other coaches in the course so that you can remove yourself a little bit. You're focusing on group calls instead of one-to-one calls. And you scale from here, getting more support, hopefully a team, more income coming in. Remember that a messy group offer launched with clarity and conviction will outperform a perfect one that never ships. Remember that you have an entire lifetime to improve upon your program. Everything does not need to be done right this second. Keep it in the back of your mind that, later can come the app, later can come this tech platform. What's important when you're developing your program is, how can I get people results? That is the most important thing. In fact, if you barely ever marketed, you could literally just have your testimonials and get clients all the time from referrals. So how you craft your program, everything that we went over today, that's going to be the number one thing that helps you actually grow your business, getting people results. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful. There's a link in the show notes here if you want to download the Sprint. The Sprint is a program that I usually charge $297 for. You can grab it for only $7. And it's all about crafting a really amazing coaching program. I take you from A to B in only 14 days. So at the end of these 14 days, you'll know how to craft your perfect high ticket program. You'll know how to find your perfect ideal client for it. You'll know how to market it. You'll have everything done and dusted in 14 days. So if that's you, if you're thinking about revamping your current programs, or you have some low ticket offers and you don't have a high ticket program yet, check out the notes. I have the link down for you below. And of course, if you are a coach or online service provider and you would love some support, you would love to stay in touch with me, I have a free community for coaches and creators where I share all of my systems. I'm putting in new content all the time, content that helps you develop your brand strategy, your content strategy, how to get more leads organically, how to develop an ad strategy. All of that stuff is in the community. You can find that also in the link below. But guys, hit that subscribe button. I hope you liked that video and curious to hear what kind of program you guys are going to create. Would love to see that in the comments as well. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.